Welcome to another greenhouse tour. What's up, guys? So today we're doing a little different stuff. We have all the stuff that came in and we're gonna put it in the greenhouse.
So we are in the greenhouse. It is December already, which is kind of crazy to think of here in Minnesota, and we do not have any snow. We have had snow. We had a big old snowstorm in October, and we've had some cold weather, but the weather has just been so strange this year. So we didn't know what to expect with our first year with a greenhouse, but I certainly didn't expect that we would still have so much going on in here. Matt's busy unpackaging some of the things, but as you can see, we've got spinach growing like crazy. We've actually got some new spinach coming up along with some other greens, our lettuce, our celery. We've got some carrots back here that kind of seem to be a little stunted, some new radishes coming up. The radishes we're eating now, and some onions back there that just kind of are hanging on. When we originally got stuff going for our greenhouse, we thought maybe it would extend our season a little bit. We didn't really know what we could do with it, and today we're working on winterizing. So we picked up these de-icing cables. I think that's what it's called, de-icing cables, thanks to a comment from a viewer. So if that was you, thank you so much. We really appreciated your advice. So we got that tip from a viewer, so if that was you, thank you so much. We really appreciate your advice, and they suggested it after watching an M.I. Gardener video, which we had not seen, even though we love M.I. Gardener. So we went back and we watched the video and we were like, yes, this is what we're gonna do. So we're gonna get these de-icing cables opened up and we're gonna get them in the ground, and the plan is to use them to heat the dirt, probably not all the time, but to heat the dirt when it's really cold. If you want to try out the de-icing cables or any of these greenhouse things in your greenhouse, I will leave affiliate links down below in the description. So I just opened that de-icing cable and it's kind of cool. It literally just looks like a power extension cord. Matt was pointing out that it's got a little thermostat on it that's supposed to stay out of the ground, and then this other part is going to get buried. Why does that stay out of the ground?
This is a thermostat here. And this is gonna stay out of the ground because whenever it gets to 32 degrees, so we won't have this in the tunnel. This has to be outside the tunnel and outside the ground, because when it gets 32 degrees, this will turn on and it'll heat up the soil. So we want that so when it gets cold in here to heat up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually have it so it's on a timer, so it only turns on in the evenings. So then it won't run all day because the sun should be enough for it, so it shouldn't turn on anyways. But just in case, we're gonna have it for just the evenings. So we're gonna run this. This is 36 feet. So we're gonna run it down this whole length. The reason why we're doing this bed and we're not gonna do this bed yet is because we wanna see how this one does just being underneath the tarp. We wanna see how this one does underneath the tarp and the heated soil. Plus this bed has the peppers in it, so we wanna see if the peppers will start coming back to life too. So I'm gonna help Sarah do this, and then we'll work on the hoops.
So Matt and I have both kind of given the cable a go trying to bury it in between the onions. And we're kind of laughing because had we found this idea before we planted everything in here, I think this would have been better, don't you?
Yeah.
Trying to weave it in between each row of onions is kind of tedious. Why do I feel like I'm so close? I am. There we go. While Matt is busy getting that cord all laid out, I am going to lay out the hoops. It looks like we've got about 18 of them, so 9 for each side. So I've got these hoops on both sides. Matt is about halfway done with the wire burying it on this side. We're not doing this side.
So I'm all done. It's warm in here. And first I didn't think there'd be enough, but I got all the way down to the end. I didn't do in between the small carrots on the end down there because I don't want to rip them up, and they're planted kind of tight for me to get my hands through there for how small they are, so I don't want to wreck them. So what I did is I came back between the radish and the carrots there, and I have it looped around, and then I come around again by the pepper plants, and I'm gonna leave that on top. I'm gonna try it for now to see if I get a little more heat around those peppers. If not, then I'll just push it into the soil. It'll be fine. So now Sarah's got the hoops in. We just got to cut the plastic. Let's go cut the plastic. So our poly is 12 by 25. So my goal is to cut it in half, so I should have 6 feet. And I should have enough to go up and over. And what we're trying to contemplate on, do we want to go all the way down to the ground, or do we want to stay right here and tuck it in? So I'm going to measure to see how much we need.
I think if you tuck it into the dirt, you're going to contain more warmth, but if you do it on the ground, it's going to be easier to get to the stuff. But it's not possible if you tuck it into the dirt.
So it'd be 42 inches we would need, so you'd want extra, so I think I would just do 4 foot.
Aren't you supposed to measure twice though? So you only cut once?
Yeah, we have enough
4
poly.
foot, so you're gonna cut twice to get 3? I'm just kidding. So, we changed our plans. Since the greenhouse plastic is long enough for each bed, we're just cutting it in half. Even though we could cut it in half 3 of them, we really only need 2. So, yeah. So we might have a little extra fabric, but that way, if we get higher hoops, or if we change our mind, or if we rip it or something, we kind of account for that. So, let's watch Matt's handiwork.
Can you hold that in? Yep, so we're going to lift all of this up.
Don't step on it. I don't want to get a hole in it.
Well, that's it for the day, folks. I totally deleted the last part of this footage, so that is my bad. So I guess you're going to have to wait until the next video. Sorry about that. So let's end it with glad you got to see us again, and sorry.